My name is Adriana Ligorio. I'm originally from Stockton, California, and I did my undergraduate degree at the University of San Diego, where I studied international relations and Spanish. Aside from my academic background, I've also had the opportunity to live in Argentina and conduct field research in Medellin, Colombia. Working on the Hill also made me interested in getting more women into elected office, and I am a participant in the 2020 We Lead program at American University, which helps women run for office and also trains them to run campaigns. Before I go any further, I would like to thank my family for all their support. I'd like to specifically thank the strong women that raised me, my mom and my grandmother, and my husband, Eric, for supporting me through all of this. I also want to thank all the funders for the program, specifically my sponsor, Amgen. You're truly helping individuals like me and other fellows gain vital experience for our professional development, especially as women in public policy. Like my boss, Jamie Herrera Butler, said in 2012, the Capitol is already a man cave. So programs like this allow more women from diverse backgrounds to get involved in a historically male-dominated field. I went into this fellowship looking at Republican women in the US House of Representatives. There are only 13 Republican women in the US House, and 2 are retiring this year. I initially wanted to stay in my comfort zone and focus on international relations and national security until Cindy and Cheryl, in their wisdom, told me about Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler. I am so blessed that I decided to do my fellowship with a woman who I view as a role model. During my time at the Congresswoman's office, I have truly learned the meaning of being a jack of all trades, or I guess we would say a Jill of all trades. Any day I could be working on healthcare policy, to salmon conservation, to teaching myself what a stellar sea lion is and why it mattered to Southwest Washington. I understood very quickly that if you can't adapt and move to a new topic, the Hill is probably not the best place for you. In the second half of my fellowship, I was reminded that when working in public service, you should never forget about the constituents that got you there. As the pandemic unfolded, we were flooded in our office with constituent requests. And this was a great experience because I got to see how the policy that Congress was passing was impacting constituents' daily lives. Finally, before I introduce my boss, I would like to say that being able to just observe and work with such an accomplished woman who is bipartisan and sticks to her values was really a lesson in itself. The Congresswoman captures this idea that Nikki Haley said of grace and grit. And I think witnessing this taught me how to advocate for myself and also not be afraid to express my opinion. I'd like to thank the Congresswoman staff who welcomed me to the office and my supervisor, Jordan, who answered every possible random question I could ask during the fellowship. I'd also like to thank Casey, the Chief of Staff, for giving me the opportunity and taking on a fellow. I'm so honored to introduce my boss, Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler. She was elected to Congress at age 31 to represent Southwest Washington's 3rd District. Both Democrat and Republican presidents have signed her legislation into law, helping her earn the rank as Washington State's most effective member of Congress. She is also the first Hispanic in history to represent Washington State on the federal level. She is ranked the 15th most bipartisan member of the US House by Georgetown University and the Lugar Center. She is also a recipient of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's 2020 Jefferson Hamilton Award for bipartisanship for lawmakers that have the strongest record of working across the aisle. She is a senior member of the House Appropriations Committee, where she serves on the LHHS and Ledge Branch subcommittees, and she is a member of the U.S. Joint Economic Committee. She is the co-founder of the Maternity Care Caucus and also a member of the Caucus for Women's Issues. The Congresswoman and her husband, Daniel, have 3 beautiful children, Abigail, Ethan, and Isana, and when they're not in DC, they reside in Battleground, Washington. And I'm so honored to introduce the Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler. Thank you.
Hi there, and thank you so much for your kind introduction. First, I'd like to thank Women's Congressional Policy Institute for hosting the Congressional Fellowship Program. Since 1995, WCPI has worked across the aisle with female lawmakers to advance policy that's important to women and their families. I've personally worked with WCPI during my time in Congress and even served as a co-chair for the Caucus for Women's Issues in the 113th Congress. And I'd like to recognize all of the sponsors that make this fellowship program possible. You are truly helping women gain invaluable public policy experience, and you're making an impact. This year, my office was able to host our first WCPI Congressional Fellow, Adriana, who has been an absolute rock star. Even though she's been working from home for nearly her entire fellowship, Adriana has taken on nearly every issue Southwest Washington State has to offer, from healthcare to salmon conservation. She's one of my lead staffers when it comes to meeting with constituent groups and liaisoning with local officials when it comes to getting COVID relief out to citizens and local businesses. Adriana could not have had any idea what she was getting herself into with my office. Prior to this role, her experience was with national security, but COVID changed that. It's changed everything. And she eagerly jumped into the mix of constituent casework to help my office respond to hundreds of residents in desperate need of assistance. She took on the unemployment portfolio and has helped dozens and dozens of folks in Southwest Washington receive their unemployment benefits. She's also helped my policy team vet potential coronavirus funding packages and recent legislation on issues ranging from childcare to unemployment fraud to postal service funding. So Adriana has taken on nearly every task with passion, determination, and a commitment to public service. And I love that. I've absolutely loved having a WCPI fellow serving alongside me in this office. She has proven to be a critical part of my team. It has been an honor to see her grow and advance professionally, and I know she's going to go on and do great things. Adriana, thank you so much for your time, your help, and your hard work. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for you.